Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today, we're diving headfirst into a topic that's crazy important. No, like seriously human security. We're talking about what makes us feel safe and sound in the world, and spoiler alert, it's way more than just like avoiding a rogue pigeon downtown. Today we'll be exploring its importance and key elements with real-world examples. Get ready to have your mind blown wide open, because things are about to get seriously interesting, and by interesting I mean important. And by important I mean like actually kind of fascinating. We're going deep, you guys, so buckle up. This video is specially crafted for students majoring in international relations and security studies. But honestly, even if you're just someone who enjoys like breathing oxygen and existing on this planet, this one's for you. Because at the end of the day, human security affects every single one of us. So let's get right to it. Right. Okay, let's break this down. Human security. It sounds kind of self-explanatory, right? Like, duh, keeping humans secure. But it's actually way deeper than that. We're not just talking about like locking your front door or wearing a helmet when you bike. We're talking about feeling safe on multiple levels, economically, physically, you name it. So how did this whole concept even come about? Well, picture this. It's the 1990s. The Cold War is over, thank goodness. But the world is still dealing with a whole bunch of conflicts and crises. And some really smart people, shout out to Amartya Sen and the folks over at the UNDP, started realizing that traditional ideas about security, like military might, weren't enough. They were missing a huge piece of the puzzle: people. That's when the idea of human security really took off. The 1994 UNDP Human Development Report was like the OG manifesto for this whole movement. It basically said, hey, if people don't feel safe from things like poverty, hunger, or disease, then what's the point of all this security stuff anyway? Mind blown. Let's talk about everyone's favorite topic: money. Just kidding, kind of. But seriously, economic security is a big deal when it comes to feeling safe and sound. We're talking about things like having a stable job that pays a living wage, because nobody wants to be living paycheck to paycheck, am I right? Having access to financial resources like credit or loans, hello, dream apartment, and being able to bounce back from a financial hit, because life happens, you know? Imagine like losing your job unexpectedly or having a medical emergency wipe out your savings. Scary, right? That's why economic security is so crucial. When people have their basic financial needs met, they're less likely to fall into poverty. They can invest in their future, education, anyone, and they're generally just like happier and healthier overall. And let's be real, a world where everyone feels economically secure is a world where everyone wins. It means less crime, less social unrest, and more people thriving. So yeah, economic security, pretty darn important. Okay, so we've talked about money. Now let's talk about something even more essential: food. I'm talking about that basic human need to, eat and survive. Food security is all about making sure that everyone has access to enough safe and nutritious food to live a healthy and active life. Sounds simple, right? But unfortunately, it's a huge issue for millions of people around the globe. Think about it. What if you didn't know where your next meal was coming from? What if you had to choose between feeding yourself or feeding your family? That's the reality for way too many people. Food insecurity can lead to malnutrition, stunting growth in children, and a whole bunch of other health problems. And it's not just about having enough food, it's also about having the right kind of food. We're talking fruits, veggies, protein, the good stuff that gives your body the nutrients it needs to thrive. When people lack access to nutritious food, it weakens their immune systems, makes them more susceptible to disease, and just generally makes it harder to live a healthy life. So, food security? Definitely not something we should be taking lightly. All right, next up on our human security checklist, health. We all know how important it is to take care of our bodies and minds, but health security goes beyond just like eating your veggies and hitting the gym, although you should totally do those things too. It's about having access to quality healthcare when and where you need it, without totally breaking the bank. I'm talking about affordable doctor's visits, hospitals that won't leave you in crippling debt, and access to essential medications. Think about it. What happens when people can't afford to see a doctor when they're sick? Or what happens when a whole community lacks access to basic medical care? It creates a breeding ground for disease, increases the risk of outbreaks, and can have devastating consequences, especially for vulnerable populations. And don't even get me started on pandemics. We've all lived through that craziness, and we know how important it is to have strong health systems in place to prevent and respond to global health threats. So yeah, health security, totally essential for, keeping us all alive and kicking. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about our girl, Mother Earth. Environmental security is all about protecting our planet and making sure that it can continue to support life as we know it. We're talking about tackling climate change, because let's be real, that's kind of a big deal. Protecting our forests and oceans, they're kind of important for, breathing and stuff. And ensuring access to clean water and air, because who wants to drink polluted water or breathe smog? Think about it. What happens when climate change causes more extreme weather events, like hurricanes, droughts, and wildfires? What happens when pollution contaminates our water sources, or makes the air we breathe toxic? It displaces communities, creates food shortages, leads to conflicts over resources, and generally makes life a whole lot harder for everyone. We only have one planet, you guys, and it's our job to protect it, not just for ourselves, but for future generations. So environmental security, non-negotiable. And that's a wrap. We've covered a ton of ground today, from economic security to environmental protection. Give yourselves a round of applause for being such engaged citizens of the world. I'm serious, you guys. Understanding human security is so important, and I hope this video has given you a clearer understanding of what it's all about and why it matters. Don't forget to smash that like button if you learned something new today. Because let's be real, who doesn't love a little brain boost? And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos. I've got a whole bunch of awesome content planned, from global politics to pop culture and everything in between. Stay tuned for our next video on international relations and security studies. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and keep spreading that human security love. Peace out.